for tuning into the talk show. I am Andra, and today I am joined by Tara, and we are going to talk you through the franchise model and what it entails. So Tara heads marketing for CMIT, and welcome, Tara.
Thank you.
You're welcome. So we're just going to dig in. So one of the things that we've been chatting about a lot lately when it comes to marketing and helping facilitate marketing for franchisees and to franchisees, but for those who have no idea what the franchise model even is, if they have not a clue in the world, talk us through what does it mean to be a franchise, what does it mean for your MSPs? What does that look like?
Well, so it's pretty great because what you get to come into is an established business, which CMIT has been around for over 20 years.
Which I think is amazing.
It's amazing.
Yeah.
And so the benefit of a franchisee coming into a system like ours is that we have proven systems. Mm-hmm. And you're coming into something that's been tried and true, well-oiled over a long period of time. And you get to come into a system where we have sales systems, operation systems, marketing systems, so you can focus on growing your business.
The business.
Yes.
The thing I love about that, and truly, and I want to talk about your background a little bit also because I think it's really important. So obviously Tara is with CMIT, and the reason why she's perfect for such a role is that you've owned your own businesses before and you've been an entrepreneur. And I think one of the pieces, at least from my perspective, for a franchise model that's really interesting is that being an entrepreneur in itself is very difficult.
Right.
You know this firsthand. Yes. So having a model, to your point, that's already created, that there's already systems in place from a sales operational perspective, all of this, and more of like a parent level playbook, right? That you can come in and focus on the piece that typically MSPs are good at. So if an MSP goes into this market, typically they came from a large vendor, they came from doing IT somewhere, and they said, I can do this on my own. Right. So I love that. So talk about your background just a little bit so that it makes sense why you're in the role that you're in.
Sure. So my background is I'm a marketing designer. That's what I've been for over 20 years. Started my own business. My recreation has been endurance sports. So coupled my personal passion with my profession and developed a concept and had the plan from inception to franchise it. So worked with my partner and had a private investor, established our model for 5 years and worked all those kinks out. Worked the system out, how we were going to do things in our stores, how we were going to do marketing. And then after 5 years, we began franchising and learned very quickly on into franchising that you, just like in the CMIT space, you have people that come into your system that are incredible experts in so many different things, but they're not an expert in everything. And so when they came into our system, what I learned very quickly was that they needed a system to follow in marketing. And so that's where we, in our model, developed the playbook, which was just amazing. And it just gave our network kind of a step-by-step process on things that they were going to execute month by month and things that we were doing to support them. And so I've been in franchising for over a decade now. And I learned so much, and I love the space, and I love working with business owners because I've been one. Which is so helpful. It is so helpful.
To anyone coming into that, having not been in those shoes, and then trying to support someone in those, or it's difficult to truly be on the same page when talking about any topic. So the fact that you've done that, and what happened to that business? You sold that business.
Sold that,
and even that path. So coming in as many MSPs are looking in the near future to sell and be acquired, and so having even gone through that is a whole nother level of expertise that can be kind of drawn upon as a franchisee of CMIT or kind of any business owner can draw upon that. So
I love working with them because I know, especially in the first year, I know how that feels, and I love being that point of support for them. I remember when we started our concept, I didn't have anybody to call, and
like no one to turn to.
No one to turn to. And I think there's so much value in that, and there's so much great support here, which is amazing. So
absolutely, and I think from the entrepreneur perspective. Sometimes it's, and I've had this conversation with partners before where, everyone wants to go out and do it on their own, to have done it on their own, and it was my business and all of this. And there's having a leg ahead and a leg up rather on the competition in a space where a lot is being commoditized. Right. It's really difficult to differentiate and get above your competition just on your own, especially in our space when you're not that into or understanding of sales and marketing, right? When IT is the craft, or in your previous case, running might have been the craft, like endurance might have been the craft, but not necessarily owning a business, sales, marketing, closing deals, all of that. So talk me through, if I'm an MSP watching this right now, and I'm thinking through ways to kind of grow my business from a marketing perspective. What are some tips, even if they're not a franchisee of CMIT, like what are some marketing tips that you would give them?
The thing that I kind of preach is consistency.
Okay.
What I see a lot of businesses do in any space is they'll kind of start going. They might make a 3-month runway of a plan, and
sprint marketing,
right? And it just takes time. There's no getting into a franchise system. You do have that head start, which is great because you can kind of hit the ground running. But you still have to layer those bricks, and that's what it's all about. And the biggest mistakes I've seen businesses make is do 3 months and not see an immediate result and pull back.
Stop.
Right.
Yep.
That's, I think, is the biggest mistake, because that's when you really start seeing things happen and you just build on it. But I always just say it's just about layering bricks, and the more you stay consistent with that, the faster you're going to get to where you want to go.
I love the brick analogy because the building that foundation, right? So making sure that there's a strong foundation to then get even more creative on top of. But if you don't even have that, there's no structure to the business from a marketing and lead gen perspective. And so I love that. Now from a standpoint of consistency, I think that's a great point, and I hope everyone heard that. Consistency is a beautiful point because that is all too often a mistake, especially in this space with managed service providers and partners that start to get intrigued by marketing, realize, okay, I know it's something that I have to do. I'm gonna do it. Everyone's telling me I need to do it. I'm gonna go do it. So they start and stop, or they come to a conclusion oftentimes. And I'm not saying everyone, because some of you are very good at it, but sometimes there's the conclusion drawn so soon that then will deter them from ever going back in the game,
right?
Because they thought, oh, nothing happened. But sometimes it's 6 months, a year and a half before you really start seeing that fruit bear. So I think that's a wonderful point. Now, CMIT franchisees, how many are there now?
There's about 150.
Okay, awesome. Yeah. And then for those of you who aren't aware, so you mainly over the United States.
Yes.
Okay. Correct. And if I was an MSP, this goes into a conversation we were having yesterday where, a lot of the MSPs that are out there, and we even see in Marketopia that we're interfacing with, and a lot of you are doing a lot of great things, but that first year, that second year of building a business, when you're trying to get past that $1 million mark, past that $3 million mark, past that $5 million mark, it's tough to do that. And if I'm an MSP out there going, man, this is hard on my own. I hit a plateau. Yep. And I need more. I need more structure. I'm a lonely entrepreneur who is really having a tough time getting over that next hurdle. What would you suggest for me when it comes to potentially looking at CMIT as an option of going, maybe instead of doing this on my own, I've gotten to a great point. Why don't I buy into this system and get this playbook to then take my business to the next level? Yes. What would you tell me if I'm curious about CMIT and why I would need to jump in?
Well, I think it's a great opportunity, and we've had that happen. And I think that it's because if you're kind of a one-man band, you can kind of take things to a certain level. And if you have the desire to go to the next level, there's going to have to be some other things that get influx into your plan. And coming into our system or transitioning your business into our system can just kind of do that for you because you're adding all these resources to your network. It's still your business, you're still in charge, you're still calling the shots, but you just your web just got so much wider.
Absolutely. And I think, back to one of the things we were talking about off camera is the amount of resources and the amount of from a corporate perspective, strength, I'll say, to help those businesses is huge. Whether it's relationships from a parent level, working really hard to grab those relationships at the CMIT corporate level and bring them to all the partners, whether it's having a base of all these partners that act as a network because they're not in competition with each other, which I think is wonderful, because then you get peer groups out of that, you get your masterminds like you were sharing, and it's beautiful because then again inside of the world where everyone is running off the same CMIT playbook but not competing with each other, they've got people to go along with them also.
They do.
They're going through the exact same thing at different levels and times.
Right, and it's a very supportive network in terms of that. They bounce things off each other, and like you touched on, the mastermind groups, that's a part of the system which I think is just genius. They meet 4 times a year. At every single meeting, the group will analyze one of the group's businesses, give feedback. They'll talk about different things and that they're doing in different markets to grow their business. Because it's very true that different tactics are going to work in different markets better than others. But we definitely kind of preach the blended multi-channel. Don't get into don't put everything all in one thing.
Yes.
And those mastermind groups really kind of help circle around that, and it's so valuable.
I think so too, and I think in our space, obviously we've got associations and other groups that you can kind of buy into or belong to, but I think the beauty of something like this is that everyone is running by that same playbook. They're running by that same business model. So it's going through it together with that level of strength back again to corporate to support everything they're doing. Exactly. So I think it's amazing. I think the things that you guys are doing are game changing and really awesome for these business owners. So check out CMIT if you are an MSP looking to grow your business or figure out how to get through that next hurdle. Tara and team are here to help. So definitely reach out, and thank you for being on the talk show today, Tara. And we will see you soon.